Hello everyone and welcome to a quick look review here on Higher Plane Games. My name's Simon. I have a slight cold, so apologies for my voice sounding a little bit prepubescent. Today we're looking at Bocce Revolution, which sounds so much better when you say it with a fake Italian accent. Even though the game I think is French, who knows. In English we know it kind of as balls or booze. If you're trying to not be toilet humourish. Thank you so much to the developer who gave me a copy of this game to review. As always though, I'm frank, open and honest, and I will not hold any punches should the game not really be up to standard. And unfortunately, there's some things in this game that seem like glaring omissions, and they bring down what is actually an interesting sport that doesn't really get much in the way of gaming going on in the world. So let me take you through some of the weird and wonderfuls. In the options you've just got high and low for graphics. So if I just dive off to high there, I'm on full screen, blah 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 blah. Going for high graphics has dropped the frame rate down 10. Let's see if it's actually any better from what it is before, because I was struggling earlier on. If you don't know the name, the rules of Bocce, then essentially it explains it for you in actually really nice detail in here, making relative sense throughout, and going through some of the weird and wonderful things that are in Bocce. So I'm going to go for a single game. You've got a tournament as well. A tournament is essentially 5 continuous single games. There is no characters that you face off against or anything like that. There is no character creation. When you're looking at an opponent for a computer, there is no scalable AI, so there's not even an easy, medium or hard AI to fight against. It's just literally a computer player. And you've got the Rafa rules or the simplified rules. So it is very, very, very bare-boned.
The importance of today's challenge is apparent on the faces of the athletes. An unforgettable game and an appointment with history. This really looks like a challenge from another time.
Now you can see one of the more drier and sarcastic commentators that has ever been put into a game before. Diastech have made some really interesting design choices to include things like a commentator, but barely any character creation or movement or anything like that at all. So I get to go first. I've not gone first in all of the time that I've played this. So I'm going to go for a precision shot. So you can see there's a little red ball down there. That's what I've got to try and get my balls near to, and then you score points for the amount of consecutive balls that are yours closest to that red ball. The red ball is called a Polino. Now, one thing that I think is really interesting about this game, even though it's been released on Steam and PC, is that it blatantly feels like it's been optimised for touchscreen devices. So in order to move my character around, I press and hold my mouse on the move button, and click and drag, and you can see the way of dealing with stuff. If I then want to rotate the angle of where I'm coming from, I can do that too. Now that's going to bugger me up, I'm sure. And then over here, you just basically press and hold, and you can see the bar will go up. It'll kind of let go roughly where I should be. So, I was a bit short there. You then chuck your ball, and it will very, very slowly meander its way beautifully down. And that is a bit short. Now, one of the things with this game, I'm just going to do that, so it tells you I'm 144 centimeters away from the ball. The small ball, it calls. Let's see what the AI do. Now the AI will either, because I've been a bit crap, that'll probably go for a precision one over the top. Well, it looks like it's going to smack mine. Yep. So I'm still going to win. Potentially. Ooh, it's going to be close. No advantage. The ball has travelled more than 70 metres. Do you want to put all the pieces back to their place and left? No, I don't. Leave it. Make him continue. Then, because he's still the furthest ball away, he can then either choose to do another precision one, which is what he's done, or he can choose a strong shot, which is basically knock my ball out the way. But what he's done is create a really cheeky parting shot down the middle. Actually, that's quite jammy. What you do find is the AI on this game seem to be immediately on expert.
No disappointments in this challenge.
Thank you. No disappointments were given. So I can take a view and look around. And I think what I'll do is I'll go for a strong throw. And then it will kind of ask you what ball are you aiming for. And generally where will they hit. So I'm going to go like that, and I'm going to rotate it slightly, because what I seem to find is that balls, when you're right, because everyone's right-handed, do tend to veer slightly to the right, regardless of what you do, and things seem to sell their shelves short. So this could either hit or miss. Oh, beautiful! Cha-ching!
You can see that this athlete is really convincing with the first play. He has the makings and leather skin of a champion.
A champion has to have leather skin in bocce? Really? So he's going for strategic again. I guess he must feel like he can't smack my ball out of the way. Oh, he's going to knock... Ah, oh, what a bitch. So now he's got two balls up front. Lol. And what's rather annoying with that is that one of them is practically dead on what's going on. So I'm going to go for a strong hand again. I'll go for the above hand. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim for that one. But I'm going to have to come in from the side. And what I'm going to aim to do is smack one into the other. I've not really attempted these types of shots. Nope. Oh dear. So it's me to go again. I'll have to strong ball it, and I'll have to... I'm going to go with that. And if I try and... I don't know. I got rid of one, but I don't think I hit the other one. There's one. Rolly roll roll. No, he's still up front. That's annoying. So he could probably go for a sneaky little shot, and if he can get his other ball in front of my blue one, he'll score 2 points. And that is how a round of bocce rolls. Literally. Yeah, jammy. He's done it. Nicely done, CPU.
Today, the champion's hand is hot.
And on it goes. So that's a round of bocce. Players then in subsequent rounds take turns in chucking the Polino out onto the field, so you can try and be creative with some of its placements if you want to. So yeah, as you can see, graphically it's far from beautiful. This game is very simplistic.
Simply an excellent play.
The sound is less than fabulous. What I'd also say as well is that Bugger, I'm going to hit one or the other, aren't I? I'm going to hit both. Let's go for a softer one. No! Nudges. Next ball. Let's try an underhand. Hey. Damn. But because the Polino's gone into the red zone, that will be a foul, I think. Or is it? Oh, no, 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 no. Even the throwing motion is slightly wonky. But no. I think the CPU is going to win this one too. So let's trying to break them up. Oh. All out of range. Well, I'm just glad that you can do that. Push me further in it. Or out the way. Anyway. So as you can see, very similar to curling, I find, except the ball can move as opposed to the target being stationary. There is something that does pull you into Bocce because it's just a very simple strategic game where you don't really... There's not tons to master, but if you have people that are being quite naughty and finicky, a bit like shuffle chalk and things like that. Very simple games, but good fun to have. What I would argue against is that this is very clearly a low budget title that's having a go at doing something. I don't know if it's a first time developer or a relatively early developer, but there's some interesting design choices that I wouldn't necessarily have thought would be in the right order. So lacking a lot of really core things that you would expect in a sports game. A little bit of finesse around the actual characters themselves, and a few other things that are just missing, like having characters in a game that's going against AI or an AI difficulty levels, those kind of things. Very simple, specific stuff that you'd expect to have that just aren't there, and that's what really brings Bocce Revolution down. The only thing that's kind of an addendum is that you can save some throws and watch them back later, but this is hardly a simulation level of Bocce, so it's not as if you can come along and go, hey, look at how I'm playing Bocce, wouldn't you want to do the same? Because it's so touchscreeny. So it's a very difficult, it's a niche game to begin with, but the execution of it makes it even more niche because it's so arcade, but it doesn't really push the arcade very well because you're not thrown into a arcadey setting. It's weird. However, if this does tickle your fancy, Bocce Revolution is available on Steam for you guys to have a look at and play. It's relatively cheap. But I would argue that the PS3 games called Oboot Pentanic on PS3, released by Big Ben Interactive, if I remember, I think do this type of game slightly better justice. And there's plenty of mini games in other little games that have a bit more fun than what this goes for. So that's all today on Higher Playing Games. I hope my voice wasn't too horrific to get you all through it. But that's Bocce Revolution, and we'll see you again for another review here on Higher Playing Games. Bye for now.